Asked is, what does the end actually entail? Does Israel plan to occupy the Gaza Strip? That, of course, is something that's been condemned by the international community. And here's a look at some more news from Israel. The Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Sunday evening that if 10 more hostages being held captive in Gaza by Hamas could be released a day, it would be a blessed thing. He was speaking after the Hamas freed 17 more hostages, including 14 Israelis, the first American in a third exchange under the 4-day truce. The Israeli Army's chief spokesperson, Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari, has said that the military was following its mission to return all abductees home after the Hamas freed more Israeli hostages under a ceasefire agreement. In a departure from the first two releases, 13 Israeli hostages crossed directly from Gaza into Israel Sunday in cooperation with the Egyptian security forces. President Joe Biden has confirmed that Abigail Eden, a 4-year-old American girl held hostage by the Hamas after her parents were killed, was released as part of the ceasefire deal in the Hamas-Israel war and was safely in Israel now. The US President Joe Biden has said that a two-state solution is the only way to guarantee the long-term security of both Israel and Palestinian people, to make sure Israelis and Palestinians alike can live in equal measures of freedom and dignity, going on to say that they will not give up working towards this goal. Over 3 dozen Palestinian prisoners returned to a hero's welcome in the West Bank city of Ramallah on Sunday after being released by Israel in a ceasefire deal with the Hamas. The release came hours after the Hamas released 17 hostages it had been holding in the Gaza Strip. Families and supporters of Israelis still being held hostage by the Hamas in Gaza gathered for a vigil in Tel Aviv Sunday. The vigil came as 17 additional hostages were released Sunday, the third day of the 4-day military pause between Hamas and Israel. Tech entrepreneur Elon Musk is set to meet the Israeli President Isaac Herzog to discuss rising anti-Semitism online. Musk has been accused of amplifying anti-Jewish hatred on his social media platform. Well, Khalistanis interrupted Indian ambassador's visit to the US when he was visiting a Gurudwara there. The Indian ambassador Taranjeet Singh Sandhu visited a Gurudwara in New York yesterday. Handful of supporters of the Khalistan movement interrupted his visit and raised slogans. They also blamed him for plotting to kill Nijar and Panu. So the pictures on your screen are of what happened when the ambassador to the United States of America, Taranjeet Singh Sandhu, tried to enter a Gurdwara. You can see a handful of these protesters try to besiege him and thereafter raise anti-India slogans. Now this, of course, back home is being seen as yet another provocation. We have seen such trends being reported out of Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, and now, of course, even America, where our diplomats are often besieged in places of worship like gurdwaras and temples. Now, we have also, of course, seen these kind of protests outside the Indian embassy in London. Thereafter, of course, security was tightened. But obviously, this is something that is likely to be raised by the External Affairs Ministry. Let me go across to Mr. R.P. Singh, who's joining us on the phone line. Mr. Singh, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Singh, these kind of incidents are obviously being seen to be increasing. And do you think that nations where these do occur need to perhaps have more stringent security measures for Indian diplomats?
Well, it's not only a security measure, it is also that news should be tightened around all those who are doing all this sort of creating all this sort of ruckus. I mean, especially a person like Himmat Singh, one of the guys who is trying to heckle the ambassador. He should be taken to task. I mean, on name of freedom of expression of ideas, they can't allow such incidents to happen, because this can lead to some very nasty act also at some given time, because this is a very big. This is just the beginning, and he's openly accusing our ambassador of killing of Niger, and saying that you wanted to kill Pannu. It was all a slap, and then immediately Joe Biden administration should deal with such elements.
Right, Mr. Singh, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. So RP Singh from the BJP over there saying not just increasing security of diplomats, but also perhaps taking it up at the topmost levels with the US is something that India should be looking into. Well, in what appears to be a setback for the BRS, 3 days ahead of assembly elections, the Election Commission has withdrawn permission given to the Telangana government to disperse financial assistance under the Rythu Bandhu scheme. The EC has said that there shall be no disbursement under the scheme till the model of code of conduct is in place in the state. Now, this, of course, is being seen as a setback for the TRS. To remember that Telangana votes soon. And this had become a major issue politically. Let's go across to Aneri. She has more details on this. Good morning, Aneri. Tell us more, please.
Well, Nupur, what we are learning right now is that the Election Commission of India has taken cognizance of the statement which was made by the Telangana Minister Harish Rao while addressing a public meeting where he had stated that the Rythu Bandhu.
All right, we're going to try and fix that audio with Aneri in just a bit and go back to her. But obviously, as Aneri was pointing out, this was something essentially that had been raked up by a sitting minister in the Telangana government. And that, of course, was brought to the notice of the Election Commission by parties in the opposition. And that, of course, now has led to the Rythu Bandhu scheme being halted by the Election Commission. The Election Commission has said that till the time that elections are taking place and the model code of conduct is in place, this cannot be dispersed. Aneri, coming back to you, your audio was very poor, so we had to disconnect from you, but tell us what you were saying.
Well, Nupur, just few days back, the Election Commission of India had granted permission for the distribution of Rythu Bandhu financial aid by the government. But remember, this is one of the long schemes which has been going on by the TRS government here in the state of Telangana. But then, as elections were in place, the Congress party had filed a complaint in the Election Commission stating that this scheme would vote the voters to vote for the BRS, and that is the reason that should be stopped. But then Election Commission of India had granted permission for it, and now we are seeing that Harish Rao, the Telangana minister who had come up with a statement while addressing a public meeting, he had stated that soon from the 28th of November, that is tomorrow, the money of Rythu Bandhu will be transferred in all your accounts and all your phones will start ringing. And that is the reason now, after looking at that statement coming in from Harish Rao, the Election Commission of India has now taken cognizance of it and also asked to stop the financial aid of Rythu Bandhu scheme. Under the Rythu Bandhu scheme, the financial aid which is being given is being stopped. Well, EC cites that this is a violation of the model code of
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi. All set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में नंबर 1 बना दिया है।
आज हमारी पार्टी, हमारी सरकार आपके सामने जो काम किया उसके दम पर वोट मांग रहे हैं।
तेलंगाना में ना कांग्रेस को फायदा होगा ना बीजेपी को फायदा होगा। ये तेलंगाना की आवाम इस बात का फैसला कर चुकी है।
केसीआर, ओवैसी की पार्टी और कांग्रेस तीनों परिवारवादी पार्टियां हैं। आपका एक वोट भारत का भविष्य तय करने वाला वोट है।
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting.
Welcome back. Now, the Union Minister of State for Home, Ajay Mishra, Sunday said that the final draft of the Citizenship Amendment Act, commonly known as CAA, is expected to be ready by the 30th of March next year. The minister said that the process to roll out CAA has gained momentum in the last couple of years. Some issues are now being sorted out and nobody can snatch citizenship rights from the Matuas. By March next year, the final draft of the CAA is expected to be ready for coming into force.
देखिए, सीए जो है हमारी सरकार की तरफ से किसी तरह की कोई दिक्कत नहीं है। हमारी सरकार जैसे ही बनी, हमने 2016 में उसको पार्लियामेंट में रखा था, तो वो ज्वाइंट से जो सेलेक्ट कमेटी होती है, संसदीय समिति, उसमें गया। उसकी रिपोर्ट 7 जनवरी 2019 को आई। 8 जनवरी को लोकसभा में उसको पास किया गया, लेकिन राज्यसभा में उस समय हमारा बहुमत नहीं होने के कारण वो राज्यसभा से नहीं हुआ। तो जब 16वीं लोकसभा डिजाल्व हुई, तो डिजाल्व हो गया। तो दोबारा जब हमारी सरकार 19 में बन गई, तो गृह मंत्री जी ने 9 दिसंबर 2019 को पार्लियामेंट में रखा। उसको 10 तारीख को लोकसभा में पास हो गया और 11
Coming up next, a power-packed campaign in the final leg. Prime Minister to hold 2 rallies in a mega roadshow in Telangana.
over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi. All set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में नंबर 1 बना दिया है।
आज हमारी पार्टी, हमारी सरकार आपके सामने जो काम किया उसके दम पर वोट मांग रहे हैं।
तेलंगाना में ना कांग्रेस को फायदा होगा ना बीजेपी को फायदा होगा। ये तेलंगाना की आवाम इस बात का फैसला कर चुकी है।
केसीआर, ओवैसी की पार्टी और कांग्रेस
India Alliance has continued its Panoti campaign. The TMC leader Tejas has said that the Tejas might crash since the Prime Minister has taken a sortie in it. And with 3 days to go for polling, power-packed campaigning in Telangana, the Prime Minister will be holding 2 rallies and a roadshow there. You are with Republic. On the other side, we bring you the latest on the rescue operations in Uttarkashi.
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi. all set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में नंबर 1 बना दिया है।
आज हमारी पार्टी, हमारी सरकार आपके सामने जो काम किया उसके दम पर वोट मांग रहे हैं।
तेलंगाना में ना कांग्रेस को फायदा होगा ना बीजेपी को फायदा होगा। ये तेलंगाना की आवाम इस बात का फैसला कर चुकी है।
केसीआर, ओवैसी की पार्टी और कांग्रेस तीनों परिवारवादी पार्टियां हैं। आपका एक वोट भारत का
Well, good morning and welcome. This is live and breaking on Republic TV, and I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. Well, the rescue operations in Uttarkashi are continuing with rescuers working overtime to ensure that they can get the 41 workers who are trapped in the tunnel home. We'll get you the latest on that. The headlines first. Ahead of the campaigning schedule, Prime Minister offers prayers at the Tirumala Tirupati temple. Power-packed campaigning in its final leg. The Prime Minister will be holding 2 mega rallies and a road show in Telangana. It is day 16 of the Uttarkashi rescue operations. Vertical drilling underway to pull out the 41 trapped workers. Khalistanis provoke again, target the Indian ambassador at a Gurdwara in New York. On the final day of a ceasefire, Hamas seeks an extension. Netanyahu hints that Israel may be ready for the deal. For the first time, the Israeli Prime Minister enters the Gaza Strip, meets troops set to hold a war cabinet meeting. Well, the vertical drilling from the top of the hill makes swift progress, as 31 meters of drilling has now been completed so far out of the 86 meters that is needed to reach the 41 trapped workers in the Silkyara tunnel, as per officials. Now the drilling work is being done to lay an 800 to 900 mm or 1.2 meters diameter pipeline to aid the rescue mission. Parallelly, the work is underway to retrieve the stuck part of the Auger machine. Let's listen in to a comment that's coming in from Pushkar Singh Dhami.
काफ़ी प्रयास सभी ने किया है। इसमें हमारे जो काटर हैं, काटने वाले हैं, उन्होंने आगर मशीन काट के पूरी निकाल ली है। आगे का कुछ पाइप का हिस्सा भी टेढ़ा हुआ है, वो भी नुकसान हुआ है, उसको भी काट के बाहर निकालेंगे। उसके बाद ड्रिलिंग का काम और पुशिंग का काम शुरू होगा। हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि जल्दी जल्दी ये काम पूरा होगा।
And let's go across to Akhil, who's been reporting on the rescue mission. Akhil, give us the latest update and how far has it progressed overnight?
Work has been going on from the vertical side of the tunnel. So what we have been told by the officials over here, that 31 meter have been drilling have been done so far, but they have given the machine rest right now, and it will take another 1 hour. After that, the machine will start digging again. So the machine which has been working right now will drill approximately 45 meter, and then after that, another machine, the heavy duty machine, will be added to from that point itself, and then it will cut through the distance of approximately 86 26 meter. Right now, the team who has been working from the horizontal side, that is the Silkyara side of the tunnel, so that team who has been working to remove that auger machine which was stuck inside that girdle for the last 48 hours is joined by me. So I would like to request them and get to know from them only कि what are the process they have been working on. अच्छा, मुझे ये बताइए, क्या नाम है आपका?
मेरा नाम मुन्ना है जी।
मुन्ना, ये बताएं आप, ये जो प्रोसेस है ऑगर मशीन का जो पिछले 48 घंटे से स्टक थी, उसका जो स्पाइरल विंग्स था, जो फिन्स था, वो फंसा हुआ था, उसको किस तरीके से आपने बाहर निकाला?
मेरे जो वेल्डर हैं अंदर हमारे और हम थे साथ में सब, हमने सबने उसे काट के बाहर निकाला है। आज सवेरे वो क्लियर हो गई है और हमारा मैनुअली काम चल रहा है उसमें।
अच्छा, तो ये जो प्रोसेस था उसका फिन्स को निकालने का, वो टोटल कितने लेंथ का जो फिन्स था वो फंसा हुआ था? वो
था टोटल 47 मीटर था वो जो निकाला गया है टोटल।
उसमें कितना वक्त लगा टोटल उस फंसे हुए पार्ट को निकालने?
आज हमें 48 घंटे हो गए टोटल और निकाल के हम क्लियर खड़े हैं अब, और अब हमारा मैनुअली काम चालू है।
अच्छा, as we have been told by the officials that rat mining process will begin, जो rat mining का प्रोसेस है मैनुअली स्टार्ट करने का, उसमें कितना वक्त लग सकता है?
उसमें हमारे 24 से 36 घंटे लगेंगे और हम उसे सफल करके मानेंगे।
अच्छा, आपके साथ वहां पर जो टीम थी उसमें मैं देख पा रहा हूँ बहुत सारे लोग थे नीचे जो कि साथ आपके आए हैं, उनके आप लीडर हैं, तो टोटल कितने लोगों की टीम है जो कि इसके अंदर काम कर रही है?
हमारे मेन लीडर वकील हसन है, जो रोकवेल से उनकी कंपनी है और वो किसी दूसरी कंपनी से आए हुए हैं।
कितने लोगों की टीम?
11 लोग हैं हम, एक वो हैं और 10 लोगों की टीम है।
Right. So there you see, I mean, these workers, this 11-member team basically have been working on that front, that is from the horizontal side, that the Silkyara side of the tunnel, and they have successfully removed the American auger machine which was stuck for the last 48 hours inside that dark tunnel. So the good news coming in from here, from the ground zero, is that auger machine has been removed, the manual work has started, the mining process, the rat mining process will begin in an hour or so. So once that process will start, it will take another 24 hours, and after that we can hope that positive news coming in from the Silkyara end of the tunnel, that the 41 workers who have been stuck for the last 16 days has come out safely and securely. Back to you in the studio.
Now, what we are given to understand is that alternative options are also being sought after, with the vertical drilling now being considered essentially perhaps the best alternative to rescue these workers. What are you hearing from the teams that are overseeing all the various plans that are in place?
Yes, the SVJNL team has been working on the vertical drilling process. So what we have been told by the officials and the sources in the SVJNL team, that they are drilling on two fronts. So one pipe is of 200 millimeter in diameter, and at a distance of approximately 14 meter, another pipe is being inserted from there itself. So the first pipe, which is of 200 millimeter diameter from the vertical end, has already reached approximately 55 meter down. So that part is going on from that side. So what we have been told, that there's a sensor machine which has been added to that pipe, which can give us the correct sense about the nature of the mountain over there. And apart from that, the 14 meter distance, the another pipe, which is the rescue tunnel, is of 1200 millimeter in diameter, through which, that is known as the rescue tunnel, so through which the laborers who are stuck inside that tunnel will come out. So on the vertical end, two pipes have been sent inside, and what we know so far, that the second pipe, the rescuer pipes on which the work is going on, from which the workers will come out by the NDRF team. So that pipe has already entered approximately 31 meters. So on both fronts, at the vertical side, the work has been going on very smoothly. Apart from the vertical end, there is a third work which has been going on. The plan C is going on from the barcode side, and from that side, I would like to request my Vijay to show you the visuals of that side. So if you see it from the barcode side end of the tunnel, so there the four controlled blasts have been done, and what we have been told by the officials, that 11.9 meter distance have been covered. So apart from the third point which has been going on successfully over here, the fourth plan which has been going is from the perpendicular right, and that plan is being conducted by the RVNL team. What we have been told, that the Rail Vikas Nigam Limited is planning to start that process by tomorrow itself, because all the major concretization of the surface has been done, and they are supposed to create 180 meter length tunnel from the perpendicular right side. So the work has been going on by the different teams. All the different agencies have been working collaboratively in that mission to complete this process very successful. Back to you.
All right, Akhil reporting from Uttarkashi. Thank you very much for joining us. Akhil, of course, is bringing us the latest on the rescue mission. Well, it appears that this is a big setback for the BRS 3 days ahead of the assembly elections. The Election Commission of India has withdrawn permission to give out disbursements in the financial assistance that is provided under the Rythu Bandhu scheme. The EC has said that there shall be no disbursement under the scheme till the model code of conduct is still in place in the state. Aneri is joining us live on this and has more details. Aneri, there has been a bit of a to and fro as far as the EC is concerned in this. Now, earlier, of course, they had given permission and then now they've withdrawn it. So tell us what actually made the EC go back on its earlier decision.
Well, remember, Nupur, on the 28th or 24th of November, we had seen that the Election Commission of India had granted permission for the distribution of Rythu Bandhu, the financial aid to the farmers here in the state of Telangana. Well, this has been one of the main welfare schemes of the KCR government. And now, after a complaint which was lodged that this financial aid would vote the voters ahead of the polls, so that is the reason why there was a complaint which was filed to the Election Commission of India. But then on 24th of November, Election Commission had given a go-ahead, and that was one of the big developments which had taken place, that EC had granted permission to distribute the Rythu Bandhu financial aid to the farmers. But however, after the permission granted by the EC, now we see that the Telangana minister Harish Rao had while addressing a public meeting, he had stated that as Election Commissioner has now granted permission, we will start distributing the financial aid, the money, the Rythu Bandhu money from the 28th of November. That is from tomorrow, and that is the last day of the campaigning. But then the EC has now taken cognizance of his statement, and he has also stated that on 28th of November, all your phones will start ringing once the money starts getting deposited in all your accounts, is what Harish Rao had stated during a public meeting. And now we are seeing that how the Election Commission of India has taken cognizance of this and has stopped the Rythu Bandhu, has withdrawn the permission which had been granted by the Election Commission, and now once again the Election Commission has withdrawn the permission of distributing the Rythu Bandhu money. And also at the same time, now what we are seeing is that this comes as a big setback for the BRS government ahead of the polls.
All right, Aneri, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast with those details. So as Aneri is pointing out, of course, this is being looked upon as a setback for the TRS ahead of the elections. Well, after a brief encounter late last night, the Delhi Police's special cell has arrested two shooters of the Arsh Dalla gang from the Mayur Vihar area of New Delhi. What we are given to understand is that one gangster was shot in the encounter and he was wounded. Both of them were, of course, held after the encounter was over. Now, this is being seen as a crackdown on the Khalistani on the gang in New Delhi. Two shooters of the Arsh Dalla gang were held and the Delhi police has nabbed them after an encounter. So their pictures on your screen are of what's taking place. This is the Mayur Vihar area of New Delhi, where we are told two people associated to the Arsh Dalla gang have been held by the Delhi police. This is part of the ongoing investigation that was taking place into the nexus between criminals and Khalistan supporters. And what you see on your screens, of course, is the Delhi police conducting its raid. Well, supporters of Khalistan interrupted an Indian ambassador's visit to the US Gurdwara. The Indian ambassador Taranjeet Singh Sandhu had visited the Gurdwara in New York yesterday. A handful of these protesters interrupted his visit and raised anti-India slogans. They also blamed India for plotting the killing of Nijar and Pannu. So this, of course, is something that is being protested by India, and it is being raised by the government in the US. Now, these are pictures that came to us from a Gurdwara in New York, where Taranjeet Singh Sandhu was visiting, and over there he was accosted by some people who are believed to be supporters of Khalistan, and they raised anti-India slogans. Now, this is something that has obviously raised concern back home in New Delhi, with questions being asked about the security and safety of our diplomats abroad. Now, this is not the first time that we've had incidents like this one being reported from the US. We've seen similar incidents being reported in Australia, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, and now, of course, the US, where Indian officials who are in the diplomatic missions are often accosted by these people who are seen to be pro-Khalistan. Amandeep is joining us live, and he has more details on this. Amandeep, to begin with, explain to us what really happened. How did all of this unfold?
Well, Nupur, the point is that when Taranjeet Sanghu, he basically belongs to the Sikh community, he went to the Gurdwara to pay the obeisance, to meet the Gurdwara management as well, to discuss their queries and in fact their problems also. And all of a sudden, a handful of people, when he was just stepping out after having a very fruitful meeting with the Gurdwara management, and even after paying the obeisance in the Gurdwara of Long Island in New York, all of a sudden, handful people with the Khalistani slogans has arrived at the Gurdwara and started blaming Taranjeet Singh Sandhu that they all are the one who are plotting the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar and Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. And in fact, all of a sudden that chaos happened. Though that Gurdwara management committee, they tried to protect and guard Taranjeet Sandhu, but somewhere the manhandling was quite visible, and they tried to interrupt and abuse Taranjeet Singh Sandhu the way he was trying to avoid them. And in fact, when he started justifying the position that why they are doing inside the Gurdwara, they again abused him. So this is how the entire incident panned out and unfolded inside the Gurdwara. And later, when he was just leaving on the road, again the person with the Khalistani flag just waving the flag in front of his car, moving along with the car. This all happened with Indian ambassador of US Taranjeet Singh Sandhu last day, on 26th of November. So this all happened. So even Nupur, before this, we have seen that what had happened in the Glasgow Gurdwara, and even certain incidents also, just because these are the incidents that cannot be ignored, that cannot be brushed aside. Even the governments has to take the call on these elements who are trying to create the trouble outside the Gurdwaras, outside the temples, and targeting the Indian envoys in US, in Canada, even in several other countries also. Just because whenever they reach out to Gurdwara or to Sikh community to discuss their problems, these Khalistani elements all of a sudden strike outside that venue and started raising the slogans of Khalistan. Their motive is all to create trouble, nothing else. Yes.
All right. Amandeep, thank you for joining us. So as Amandeep was explaining to us, this is an issue obviously that's going to be raised with the Americans. Well, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has hinted that Israel may agree to extend the ceasefire agreement by a day. Now, this after the Hamas sought to extend the truce after the end of the 4-day period by seriously seeking to increase the number of released detainees as stated in the humanitarian truce agreement. Today is the last day of the ceasefire agreement as it exists, at least now.
Two days ago, one of our fellow Americans, a little girl named Abigail, who turned 4 years old, she spent her birthday, and at least 50 days before that, held hostage by Hamas. Today, she's free, and Jill and I, together with so many Americans, are praying for the fact that she is going to be all right. Abigail was among 13 hostages released today from Gaza under the brokered and sustained, though intensive, U.S. diplomacy. She's now safely in Israel, and we continue to press and expect for additional Americans will be released as well. And we will not stop working until every hostage is returned to their loved ones. For weeks, I've been advocating to pause in the fighting for two purposes: to increase the assistance getting into the Gaza civilians who need help, and to facilitate release of hostages. And we know that innocent children in Gaza are suffering greatly as well, because this war that Hamas has unleashed has such consequences. Thousands have been killed, and from the earliest days of this crisis, I've worked closely with President Sisi of Egypt, the Israeli government, King Abdullah of Jordan, and leaders throughout the region to expand the delivery of critical humanitarian assistance to help innocent Palestinians in need who are not part of Hamas. Under this deal, fighting in Gaza has now been paused for 3 days.
And Gursimran is reporting live from Tel Aviv on this. Gursimran, we are now hearing that it appears that the truce may be extended by some time. What is the time frame of the extension that's been talked about, and what are the terms of it?
Srinupur, right now we are reporting from the southern Israel, and this remains to be hotspot where the exchange of hostages took place for almost 3 days now, and today is the 4th day. We expect that today the process will be more smooth, because yesterday for the first time we have seen Egyptian side, the officials from the Egypt, they are entering the Gaza Strip to streamline the exchange of the hostages to the Red Cross. They don't want any kind of delay from the side of Hamas that could create a situation like it has been day before yesterday, when the US President had to make 2 calls to the Qatar side to solve the situation. Now coming to the further course of action, if we speak, then one thing is very clear, that this ceasefire, what it seems for now, if there are no more bottlenecks, this will go on like this at least for next couple of days, because Hamas too has shown their consent that they want extension in the ceasefire, and also the side of Israel, they have said that as per the agreed norms, if 10 hostages are released every single day, the humanitarian pause will extend by a single day. That means that they are also agreeing to what they have always wanted, and they wanted it to happen. Yes.
All right, Gursimran, thank you very much for joining us for the moment. Now, even as the Israel-Hamas war has completed 50 days, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu entered Gaza and met Israeli troops. He's the first Prime Minister from Israel to enter Gaza in the past 2 decades.
For the first time, Prime Minister Netanyahu entered the Gaza Strip. On completion of 50 days of war, PM Netanyahu went to Gaza and met Israeli soldiers. Netanyahu interacted with the Israeli soldiers holding static positions after operational pause. While speaking to Israeli soldiers, Netanyahu reiterated the goal to eliminate Hamas.
אנחנו פה ברצועה עם הלוחמים הגיבורים שלנו. אנחנו עושים כל מאמץ להחזיר את חטופינו, ובסופו של דבר נחזיר את כולם. יש לנו 3 יעדים במלחמה הזאת: לחסל את החמאס, להחזיר את כל חטופינו, ולהבטיח שעזה לא תחזור להיות איום למדינת ישראל. ואני פה להגיד לחברים כאן, הלוחמים כאן, שאומרים לי את אותם הדברים, ואני חוזר ואומר את זה לכם, אזרחי ישראל. אנחנו ממשיכים עד הסוף, עד הניצחון. שום דבר לא יעצור אותנו. ואנחנו משוכנעים שיש לנו את הכוח, את העוצמה, את הרצון והנחישות להשיג את כל יעדי המלחמה.
He told the soldiers that Israel will continue the fight until the end. The visit came as a big boost to the morale of Israeli troops who have been engaged in ground operations in Gaza. Agency report for Republic TV.
Now, the Israeli Prime Minister has said Sunday evening that if 10 more hostages being held captive by the Hamas, I beg your pardon, in Gaza, could be released a day, it would be a blessed thing. Now, he was speaking after the Hamas freed 17 more hostages, including 14 Israelis, and the first American in a third exchange under a 4-day truce. The Israeli Army's chief spokesperson has said that The military was following its mission to return all abductees home after the Hamas freed more Israeli hostages under a ceasefire agreement. In a departure from the first two releases, 13 Israeli hostages crossed directly into the Gaza Strip. President Joe Biden has confirmed that Abigail Eden, a 4-year-old American girl held hostage by the Hamas after her parents were killed, was released as part of the ceasefire deal in the Israel-Hamas war. US President Joe Biden has said that a two-state solution is the only way to guarantee the long-term security of both Israel and Palestine, to make sure Israelis and Palestinians alike can live in equal measures of freedom and dignity. Over 3 dozen Palestinian prisoners have returned to a hero's welcome in the West Bank city of Ramallah on Sunday after being released by Israel in a ceasefire agreement with the Hamas. The release came hours after the Hamas released 17 hostages it had been holding in the Gaza Strip. Families and supporters of Israelis still being held hostage by Hamas in Gaza gathered for a vigil in Tel Aviv Sunday. The vigil came as 17 additional hostages were released, the third day of a 4-day military pause between Hamas and Israel. Tech entrepreneur Elon Musk is set to meet the Israeli President Isaac Herzog to discuss rising anti-Semitism online. Musk has been accused of amplifying anti-Jewish hatred. Coming up next, ahead of campaigning schedule, the Prime Minister offers prayers at the Tirumala temple. And power-packed campaigning in the final leg, Prime Minister to hold 2 rallies.
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi. All set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में नंबर 1 बना दिया है।
आज हमारी पार्टी, हमारी सरकार आपके सामने जो काम किया उसके दम पर वोट मांग रहे हैं।
तेलंगाना में ना कांग्रेस को फायदा होगा ना बीजेपी को फायदा होगा। ये तेलंगाना की आवाम इस बात का फैसला कर चुकी है।
केसीआर, ओवैसी की पार्टी और कांग्रेस तीनों परिवारवादी पार्टियां हैं। आपका एक वोट भारत का भविष्य तय करने वाला वोट है।
with over 100 unicorns and more.
Welcome back. You are watching Republic TV and this is live and breaking now. The Prime Minister has a hectic campaigning schedule today. He'll be in Telangana and we'll also be bringing you the latest on the rescue work that's being conducted in Uttarkashi. First up though, we take you through the headlines at 10:30. Campaigning schedule. The Prime Minister offers his prayers at the Tirumala temple. It's a power-packed campaigning schedule. In the final leg, the Prime Minister will be holding 2 rallies. Day 16 of the Uttarkashi rescue operations. Vertical drilling is underway to pull out the 41 trapped workers. A Khalistani provocation again. Indian ambassador is targeted at a Gurudwara in New York. On the final day of a ceasefire, the Hamas seeks an extension. Benjamin Netanyahu hints that Israel may be ready for the deal. And for the first time in 2 decades, an Israeli Prime Minister enters the Gaza Strip, meets troops, is set to hold a war cabinet meeting there today. Well, he's just coming in from Karnataka, where a Congress MLA has politicized the Pulwama attack once again, saying that soldiers died in Pulwama and the Prime Minister came to power because of this. So the Congress MLA raking up the Pulwama attack during what appears to be an election meeting. We are given to understand that this comment was made by H.C. Balakrishna. And he made these comments at a People-to-People Connect program in the Tabinekere Magadi area of Karnataka. This comment obviously has drawn ire from the BJP. And we're going to try and go across to our correspondent Prajwal to give us more details on what was said and the reactions that have followed. But what we understand as of now is that the Congress MLA has politicized the Pulwama attack yet again, insulting these martyrs. He's gone on to say that soldiers died in Pulwama and Modi came to power because of this. Prajwal is joining us live. He has more. Prajwal, give us the entire context of what was said and what are the reactions that have come in.
Nupur, this particular statement was made at a People's Connect program as well, and now we get to understand that Balkrishna was speaking to around 300 to 400 people as well in his own constituency at Tubinahalli in Magadi Assembly constituency, at which point of time initially he started off by stating that the BJP is not for the Dalits as well, and they were in an alliance with the BSP party, and now look at the state of Mayawati, and also he was speaking about the JDS and the BJP alliance, and suddenly he states that Prime Minister Narendra Modi cannot become a Vishwa Manava just by waving his hands. He came back only to power for the second successive time, mainly because of the Pulwama attack. Over here, he's hinting that the Pulwama attack was orchestrated to make sure that Prime Minister Narendra Modi comes to power again. So this is definitely an insult to all our martyrs who had lost their lives in 2019 on the 14th of February when this dastardly attack took place too. And he speaks very lightly of that. And he also states that the innocent lives of soldiers are being sacrificed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government. It was sacrificed on Feb 14th in 2019. And look what happened there. Innocent lives of the soldiers were sacrificed. And here Modi came back to power. And this is something which has definitely drawn a lot of fire in the state of Karnataka and has ballooned out to be a big, huge political controversy as well. And the BJP has gone ahead, slammed the Congress right, left and center, stating that the Pulwama attack should not be politicized and the country respects the sacrifice and the valor of these soldiers, and they laid down their lives for the country too. So all said and done, there has been no sort of statement from either the MLA, an apology or else a clarification that has been issued. Meanwhile, the Deputy Chief Minister is busy campaigning in Telangana, and the Chief Minister has failed to reply in this controversial statement which has been made by the party's MLA. All right,
so as Prajwal is pointing out, of course, this is likely to essentially draw ire from the BJP. Now, Prajwal, this is not the first time actually that the Congress has raised the Pulwama attacks, and this is something that we have seen in the past, and more of this is likely to happen in the run-up to 2024, do you think?
Absolutely, because even the context which he was speaking was in regard to the 2024 MP elections as well, where he stated that in the 2024 MP elections, if the people do not learn their lessons, that this particular government is incompetent. Pulwama attack was one of the best examples of it, and he's stating that this highlighted the failures of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah as well. And this clearly goes ahead and shows that they're absolutely incompetent and will not be able to address the problems of the people, let alone address the problems of the soldiers. Secondly, he was also the very same leader, Nupur, when we had confronted Rahul Gandhi last time in Mandya during the Bharat Jodo Yatra. He was the one who was shamelessly grinning when Udit Raj, a senior Congress leader, had called President Draupadi Murmu a sycophant and dumb and deaf as well. So this was the same MLA who had at that point of time shamelessly laughed into our cameras too. So this clearly goes ahead and
just hold your thoughts for a minute,
again.
Prajwal. I'm going to come back to you. Mr. S. Prakash from the BJP is joining us on the phone line right now. Mr. Prakash, good morning. Thank you for speaking to us. Mr. Prakash, how do you see this comment that has come in from this Congress MLA, H.C. Balakrishna, essentially said that soldiers lost their life in Pulwama and the result was the Prime Minister coming back to power in the previous elections?
No, he is most irresponsible and recklessly making comments on the Prime Minister and the situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Sitting in Bangalore without knowing the ground reality of what happened in Jammu and Kashmir, is making such sweeping allegations is very unfortunate, and it shows the Congress party's true intent to politicize even the martyrs of our soldiers. It is very sad. Mr. Balakrishna, whose knowledge does not go beyond Magadi, where he is elected, now wants to take a limelight, making allegations against the Prime Minister himself.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us on the phone line, Mr. Prakash. So, the BJP over there, of course, questioning these comments that have come in. The person you are speaking. But let's once again listen into what H.C. Balakrishna has said.
ಪಾಪ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕನ್ಸು ಕಾಣ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ನಾನು ವಿಶ್ವಮಾನವ ಆಗೋಯ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಟಾಟಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪಟ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಳೆದ ಬಾರಿ ಅದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಪುಲ್ವಾಮಾ ದಾಳಿ ಆಗದೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮೋದಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಜನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಪುಲ್ವಾಮಾ ದಾಳಿ ಯಾಕಾಯ್ತು? ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪ ಅಮಾಯಕ ಸೈನಿಕರನ್ನ ಬಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಕೀರ್ತಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮೋದಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ದೇಶ ಆಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈನಿಕರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಪಾಪ ಬಲಿದಾನ ಆದಂತವ್ರು ಸೈನಿಕರು ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಮೋದಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ನಮ್ ಜನ. ಅವತ್ತೇನಾದ್ರು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು, ಸೈನಿಕರು ತೀರೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಅವ್ರು ಹುತಾತ್ಮರ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರು. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ ತಾಲೂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಶಿವರಾಮಣ್ಣ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ದೇಶದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಸರ್ವೆಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಒಂದು ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಯಾವ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದಕ್ಕೆ. ಈ ದೇಶವನ್ನ ಆಳಿದಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಧಾನಿ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಹೋಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈನಿಕರ ಬಲಿದಾನ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಮುಟ್ಟಾಳ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಪ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದಲ್ವಾ?
All right, let's go back across to Prajwal, who is joining us on this. Now, Prajwal, you just heard the BJP leader over there saying that they expect more of this essentially to happen. But any other political reactions that you are getting on this?
As of now, no, Nupur, because this story has just been broken by us right now. At the same point of time, we are seeing that I did go ahead and speak to a few BJP leaders who have slammed HC Balakrishna for the sort of statements that is being made by him, mainly in regards to politicizing the Pulwama attack and belittling the sacrifices of our soldiers and calling this attack orchestrated too. But at the same point of time, as I was saying earlier, there has been no sort of reactions from the Congress party in the state of Karnataka, may it be the Home Minister who is in Tumkur, Deputy Chief Minister who is in Telangana, and also Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, who is yet to respond to this controversial statement which has been made by Balakrishna on Sunday.
Now, obviously, questions remain as to whether we are going to see more of this from the Congress party side, and does the senior leadership of the Congress actually endorse what is being said? Prajwal?
Nupur, even in the past too, there has been several controversial statements that has been made by Congress leaders even in the state of Karnataka, and this is not something which is new as well. But at the same point of time now, we are also looking at this statement being made at a time when the Lok Sabha elections are round the corner as well, and the Congress for a matter know that the assembly elections is completely a different scenario from the Lok Sabha elections, especially in the state of Karnataka, because the BJP has won handsomely here. Out of the 28 Lok Sabha seats, they've gone ahead and won 25 Lok Sabha seats too. So this time around, they're trying to polarize the votes because they want to make sure that they go ahead and nullify the Modi factor too. So once they go ahead and nullify the Modi factor, they know that they can easily go ahead and canter to a victory in the state of Karnataka. So therefore, derogatory statements are also being made against the Prime Minister, but in that process, they're also going ahead and insulting the armed forces too. So we can expect such statements to be coming in, but will the High Command take a stock of this, because this has always proven costly for the Congress? Even in 2019 they paid the price for it, and in 2024 we will need to go ahead and look as to what holds in store for them.
All right, Prajwal, thank you very much for joining us on the broadcast. So Prajwal, of course, taking us through the latest development in terms of a statement that has been made by a Congress leader against Prime Minister Modi. And going across through the latest in the rescue work that is continuing in Uttarkashi. Now, vertical drilling from the top of the hill has been making swift progress, as about 31 meters of drilling work has now been completed so far. This, of course, is out of the 86 meters that needs to be drilled to reach the 41 trapped workers in the Silkyara tunnel. The drilling work is being done to lay an 800 to 900 mm or 1.2 meter diameter pipeline to aid rescue work. Parallelly, work is also underway to retrieve the stuck part of an Auger machine, and the Uttarakhand Chief Minister, of course, has spoken about the rescue work. Let's listen into what he said.
काफ़ी प्रयास सभी ने किया है। इसमें हमारे जो कटर हैं, काटने वाले हैं, उन्होंने आगर मशीन काट के पूरी निकाल ली है। आगे का कुछ पाइप का हिस्सा भी टेढ़ा हुआ है, वो भी नुकसान हुआ है, उसको भी काट के बाहर निकालेंगे। उसके बाद ड्रिलिंग का काम और पुशिंग का काम शुरू होगा। हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि जल्दी जल्दी ये काम पूरा होगा।
मुझे ये बताइए, आपको मैंने देखा आप टनल से बाहर निकल रहे थे, आप अंदर टनल में जो सिल्कियारा जो एंड है उस साइड कुछ काम कर रहे थे, हॉरिजॉन्टल एंड की तरफ, वो काम क्या है, क्या कर रहे थे आप?
वो ऑगर काट रहे थे, और ऑगर रात को जो सरिया फंसी हुई थी वो रात को हम उसे सुबह तक कंप्लीट कर चुके हैं। अब उसमें जो हम पत्थर मैनुअली काम करेंगे वो मैनुअली काम करना है हमें।
वो जो सरिया फंसी हुई थी वो कितनी दूर तक फंसी हुई थी? ऑगर जो मशीन है वो कितनी दूर तक फंसा हुआ था?
वो 12 इंची थी अंदर जो था ऑगर, बाकी तो टोटल शुरू से 46 मीटर था, वो बिल्कुल निकाल चुके हैं। आज हमारा कंप्लीट हो चुका है।
तो ऑगर का जो फिंस था, जो स्पाइरल फिंस है, वो आपने काट करके निकाल दिया है?
सब निकल चुका है, बस अब हमारा मैनुअली काम चालू है।
तो रैट माइनिंग का जो प्रोसेस है, जो उसको ड्रिल करने की प्रोसेस है, जो कि मैनुअली किया जाएगा, वो कितने बजे तक स्टार्ट करने जाएंगे?
वो हम 1-1.5-2 घंटे में स्टार्ट कर देंगे।
अच्छा, तो ये जो पूरा प्रोसेस है यहाँ से, अब जो मैनुअल ड्रिलिंग का प्रोसेस है, इसको करने में कितना वक्त लग सकता है?
ये हम सोच रहे हैं सवेरे तक हो जाए, अभी हो जाए 2-4 घंटे में। हमारी कोशिश बहुत तेज चल रही है, जो हम इसे मैनुअली कम से कम 24 से 36 घंटे में इसे फाइनल कर देंगे।
तो आपका ये कहना है कि लगभग 24 घंटे के अंदर जो वर्कर्स फंसे हुए हैं उस टनल के अंदर, उनको बाहर निकाल लिया जाएगा। जी, आप भी इस मिशन के अंदर साथ जुड़े हुए हैं, आपकी जो टीम है, आपकी टीम में कितने लोग हैं साथ में?
11 लोग हैं टोटल।
अच्छा, तो 11 लोग जो काम कर रहे थे उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा प्रोसेस बताइए, किस तरीके से काम कर रहे थे, किनका क्या काम था?
जी सर, 11 बंदे हैं हम, 11 बंदों में 2-2 बंदों की एक टीम है हमारी। अच्छा, ठीक है। रेस्ट ले लेकर हम अंदर जाते हैं, मट्टी काटते हैं। फिलहाल तो हमने ये ऑगर निकाला है काट के, जैसे भी है, वेल्डर भी हमारे साथ में लगे हुए हैं, जो ऐसी बात है। हाँ, तो इनको हमने काट के निकाला है, अब निकाल के हम फारिग हुए हैं इसको। ठीक है जी।
तो ये ऑगर मशीन को टोटल निकालने में, जब आप कल अंदर गए थे तो टोटल कितना वक्त लगा इसको निकालने में?
ये ऑगर तो 2 दिन से फंसी हुई है, पर लेकिन काम भी 2 दिन से बराबर चल रहा है इसके अंदर। थोड़ा सा ऑगर बहुत लंबे पड़ गया था, उसको फंस गई, वो काट के निकाली है टुकड़ों में, 1-1 मीटर, आधा मीटर, 1.5 मीटर करके काट कर निकाली है उसको जी।
अच्छा, जैसा कि हम देख पा रहे हैं कि जो ये मैनुअल वर्क चल रहा था, इसका जो प्रोसेस है वो अभी स्टार्ट होने वाला है। इसमें क्या लग रहा है आपको कि कितनी देर लगेंगे, आपको कितने लोग एक साथ जो है वो वहाँ पर जाके काम कर सकें? क्योंकि अंदर जो स्पेस है वो बहुत कम है, तकरीबन 800 मिलीमीटर डायमीटर का स्पेस है।
2 ही जने जाते हैं सर।
एक बार में 2 जन जाएंगे? तो आपको क्या लग रहा है कि एक बार में जब 2 लोग जाएंगे तो 2 लोगों के निकलने का वेट करते हैं, फिर 2 लोग जाते हैं, तो इस प्रोसेस में टोटल कितना देर लग सकता है?
यही टाइम लगेगा, 24 से 36।
And let's go across to Akhil, who's joining us live now. Akhil, even as rescue efforts, of course, are continuing and they are progressing swiftly, give us a sense of how the workers who are still trapped inside are doing. We are told, of course, that they were sent in food supplies earlier this morning as well. But anything that you can share with us on that?
Well, absolutely. The entire team, the rescuers operation team, which have been going on over here, we have been speaking to the people who are associated with the kitchen work, and apart from that, the team basically we supply the food items, food materials to the workers, and they have been saying that we have sent enough amount of food inside that tunnel, and there has been food items apart from like vegetables, fruits. If you talk bananas, oranges, apples, all those fruits items were also sent inside that tunnel, and there's a future stock for next 10 to 12 days have been sent inside on a positive note, so that there shouldn't be any kind of shortage inside that tunnel. Apart from that, we have been speaking to the officials over here, and they are saying they are pretty hopeful. Optimistically speaking, they will take out the workers within 24 hours. If pessimistically speaking, they will take out the workers from that dark tunnel within 36 hours. So work has been going on a war footing level. The progress have been made. What we have seen, that the rat mining process has begun already, and the team which we just interviewed a few moments back, moments back, have said that it will take another 24 hours to bring back those workers home.
Well, obviously, Akhil, these time frames depend on the kind of progress that is made. Thank you for joining us for the moment, though. Akhil is taking us through the latest in terms of where the rescue work has reached. You are with Republic TV. On the other side, a provocation again. The target this time is the Indian ambassador at a Gurudwara in New York. And on the final day of the ceasefire agreement, the Hamas seeks an extension. Israelis hint that they may be willing.
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit, Sustaining the Dream Run, on 5th December in New Delhi. All set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit, Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में नंबर 1 बना दिया है।
आज हमारी पार्टी, हमारी सरकार आपके सामने जो काम किया उसके दम पर वोट मांग रहे हैं।
तेलंगाना में ना कांग्रेस को फायदा होगा ना बीजेपी को फायदा होगा। ये तेलंगाना की आवाम इस बात का फैसला कर चुकी है।
केसीआर, ओवैसी की पार्टी और कांग्रेस
Well, an all-party meeting has been called on the 2nd of December ahead of the winter session of Parliament. The winter session of Parliament, of course, is scheduled to take place from the 4th of December till the 22nd of December. So ahead of that session of Parliament, the Centre has called for an all-party meeting. The meeting is scheduled to take place at 11 o'clock on the 2nd of December. And this winter session, of course, of Parliament will have about 15 sittings that are spread over 19 days. Political editor Aishwarya Kapoor on the phone line with us. Aishwarya, good morning. Aishwarya, now this is an all-party meeting, of course, which is customary to be called ahead of the winter session of Parliament. But what are we expecting largely from the 15 sittings, I beg your pardon, that are spread over 19 days? All right, I don't think we've got Aishwarya with us, but what we know so far is that the Centre has called for an all-party meeting at 11 o'clock on the 2nd of December on behalf of the central government. The Parliamentary Affairs Minister, of course, made this announcement. You are with Republic. On the other side, it is a power-packed campaign that it's in its final leg in Telangana. And Khalistanis provoke again, target the Indian ambassador at a Gurudwara in New York.
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit, Sustaining the Dream Run, on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit, Sustaining the Dream Run, on 5th December in New Delhi. to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में नंबर 1 बना दिया है।
आज हमारी पार्टी, हमारी सरकार आपके सामने जो काम किया उसके दम पर वोट मांग रहे हैं।
तेलंगाना में ना कांग्रेस को फायदा होगा ना बीजेपी को फायदा होगा। ये तेलंगाना की आवाम इस बात का फैसला कर चुकी है।
केसीआर, ओवैसी की पार्टी और कांग्रेस तीनों परिवारवादी पार्टियां हैं। आपका एक वोट भारत का भविष्य तय करने वाला वोट है।
Well, a security breach has been reported in Pune, where a pro-Maratha quota activist reached the Maharashtra Minister Chhagan Bhujbal's car and threatened to vandalize the vehicle and hurled abuses. We're going to try and play out those visuals for you in just a bit, but this is being seen as a security breach at the VVIP Circuit House, where a pro-Maratha quota activist reached the Maharashtra Minister Chhagan Bhujbal's car and said that he would vandalize the car. You are with Republic, and on the other side, ahead of campaigning, the Prime Minister offers prayers at the Tirumala temple. And on the final day of the ceasefire, the Hamas seeks an extension.
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi. All set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में नंबर 1 बना दिया है।
आज हमारी पार्टी, हमारी सरकार आपके सामने जो काम किया उसके दम पर वोट मांग रहे हैं।
तेलंगाना में ना कांग्रेस को फायदा होगा ना बीजेपी को फायदा होगा। ये तेलंगाना की अवाम इस बात का फैसला कर चुकी है।
केसीआर, ओवैसी की पार्टी और कांग्रेस तीनों परिवारवादी पार्टियां हैं। आपका एक वोट भारत का भविष्य तय करने वाला वोट है।
Viewers, we are live and breaking up. Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest. We're tracking multiple stories right now, especially Karnataka Congress MLA has raked up the Pulwama attack, and we're also tracking the Uttarkashi rescue operations, which are still underway, and we're still waiting for good news to come in. 41 workers remain trapped in Uttarkashi. Those two stories are the top stories. We'll get to you all the details, what's happening on ground. But first, the headlines we're tracking at this moment. Congress politicizes Pulwama attack, says soldier martyred, and then Modi came to power. Ahead of campaigning schedule, Prime Minister offers prayers at Tirumala Temple. Power-packed campaigning in the final leg. PM to hold 2 rallies and a mega road show in Telangana. Day 16 of Uttarkashi rescue operations. Vertical drilling underway to pull out the 41 trapped workers. Khalistanis provoke again, target Indian ambassador at Gurudwara in New York and raise Khalistani slogans. On the final day of ceasefire, Hamas seeks extension. Netanyahu gives hint, Israel ready for the deal. Viewers, let's go straight to the top story. Now, news coming in from Karnataka, where a Congress MLA has politicized the Pulwama attack and also insulted the martyrs. A Congress MLA says that the soldiers died in Pulwama and Modi, the Prime Minister, came to power because of this. Let's go ahead, viewers, and play out exactly what this Congress MLA says.
ಅಪ್ಪ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕನ್ಸು ಕಾಣ್ತಾರೆ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ನಾನು ವಿಶ್ವಮಾನವಾಗೋಯ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಟಾಟಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಪಟ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಳೆದ ಬಾರಿ ಅದು ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಪುಲ್ವಾಮಾ ದಾಳಿ ಆಗದೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ರೆ ಮೋದಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಜನ ಮನೆಗೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಪುಲ್ವಾಮಾ ದಾಳಿ ಯಾಕಾಯ್ತು? ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪ ಅಮಾಯಕ ಸೈನಿಕರನ್ನ ಬಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂತ ಕೀರ್ತಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಮೋದಿ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ದೇಶ ಆಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈನಿಕರಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಪಾಪ ಬಲಿದಾನ ಆದಂತವ್ರು ಸೈನಿಕರು ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಬಂದಿದ್ದು ಮೋದಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ನಮ್ ಜನ. ಅವತ್ತೇನಾದ್ರು ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ರಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ರಿ, ಸೈನಿಕರು ತೀರೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಹುತಾತ್ಮರ ಆದ್ರೂ ಕೂಡ ರಾಜಕೀಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ರು. ಆದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ ತಾಲೂಕಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಶಿವರಾಮಣ್ಣ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ದೇಶದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರದಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಸರ್ವೆಗಳು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಒಂದು ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಫೋರ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಯಾವ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತದೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದಕ್ಕೆ. ಈ ದೇಶವನ್ನ ಆಳಿದಂತ ಒಬ್ಬ ಪ್ರಧಾನಿ, ಒಬ್ಬ ಹೋಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈನಿಕರ ಬಲಿದಾನ ಆಗ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೊಂದು ಮುಟ್ಟಾಳ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಅಂತ ನಾವೇನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಒಪ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗ್ತದಲ್ವಾ?
So, Wills, what we see right now, you heard the entire statement. Who was speaking? That is Congress MLA H.T. Balakrishna, who was politicizing the Pulwama attack and has said that the Pulwama attack, he has hinted towards this, that the Pulwama attack was orchestrated to bring PM Modi back to power for the second term. That are the words. That is exactly what he's saying, those words. H.C. Balakrishna has also added, while speaking there, that Modi government has the ill repute of sacrificing Indian soldiers, viewers. So a big controversy has erupted after the Congress MLA has made such a statement, a very controversial statement coming out on Republic TV. Let's go to Prajwal, who's joining us on live with us. And Prajwal, any kind of reaction has come in. Now, we know that this statement has been made, not the first time a Congress MLA has made such controversial remarks, but any clarification, any statement, any apology coming out after this?
Shivangi, there's absolutely been no sort of clarification that has come in from the Congress party in the state of Karnataka, but we're also joined in by BJP spokesperson Mr. M.G. Mahesh. Let's go across and speak to him, ask him as to how the BJP looks into this particular controversy. You know, now we have seen a very controversial statement coming in from H.C. Balakrishna. This was not the first time that he's made it. He's comparing that the Pulwama attack was being orchestrated to bring back Prime Minister Modi to power. He also states that innocent lives were sacrificed to bring back Prime Minister Modi to power. And this is not the first time that the Congress is going ahead and politicizing the Pulwama attack. But this is the first time that it is happening in the state of Karnataka, that a leader from the Congress party is politicizing this.
See, the Congress is doing these types of cheap politics since last several years. They have not spared even any constitutional institution for their political thrust. Okay, they always make these types of allegation against all the institutions of this country. See, the BJP is always give importance to the sacrifice and the honor of the entire our soldiers and bravery of them. They took every opportunity to scapegoat the BJP in one or other way. Okay, and this is the latest example. See, the people of this country, they are overwhelmingly accepted the Adaraniya Modi ji as their tallest leader of the India, and they are not having any face to challenge Mr. Modi, and they are doing these petty politics in the name of soldiers, Watan Court, and all sort of these things they are doing since last several years. Okay, I am not got any major upset or something, because the tendency and the DNA of the Congress itself is such. Okay. Yeah.
You know, going ahead and looking at it, Udit Raj, a senior Congress leader, had made a derogatory statement against the President, Draupadi Murmu, as well, and he had questioned her beginnings, her humble beginnings too. At that point of time, this was also the very same Balakrishna, while Republic confronted Rahul Gandhi, asking him on the same. He was the one who was shamelessly smiling as well. So, yet again, now a second statement which is proving what he's supposed to be. So, do you think that this comes as a surprise, or was this bound to happen?
No, that's the reason I say I am not getting any surprise of these people's tendency, because they are the habitual offenders. They are doing since last several years, they are mud selling these things. Every occasion they are using for these their political thrust, they are doing these things. Okay, I am not getting any surprise on this fact.
Do you think that the Congress will pay dearly for this in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections as well, because the 2024 elections are round the corner and such controversial statements are coming again and again to the fore as well? And even the Congress top brass is just mere spectators to it. They're not even condemning this. They're not calling out their leader, speaking to him at least, making, whipping some sense into him at least.
Certainly the people of this country, they are aware about the fact what the Congress and their feelers are doing this. The people of this country has given a befitting reply to the Congress, and they give a huge praise for this. See, the people never disown their soldiers because of the Congress doing all these of petty politics. Okay, that is the reason the country is known what the Congress is doing. But forthcoming election, the people of this country is giving such a befitting reply to the Congress.
Mr. Mahesh, irrespective of your ideologies, may it be the Congress, the BJP or the JDS party, how right do you think on the part of any political party to bring the armed forces to play their petty politics, to put their agenda in front of the people, how right is it on their part to be doing so? Because the armed forces do not serve any of the political parties in the country as well. They are above everything. They are above all as well. And they do what is there in the best interest of the nation, to protect the interest of the nation, to protect the interest of the people of the country. But now such politics, such mudslinging on the soldiers will definitely go ahead and bring a disrepute.
Yeah, certainly. See, we will discourage their morale of the soldiers because of our politics. Our politics in the sense, these political parties, see, armed forces, they are serving for the country. And they are giving entire sacrifice to protect us. But this is a common thing must known every political party. So BJP never do that. BJP always give pride and proud of the every soldiers of. That is the reason Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan and Jai Vignan. We always sloganing everywhere that we give more importance to this our brave army.
Thank you, Mr. Mahesh. So that was Mr. M.G. Mahesh, who is the spokesperson of the BJP, speaking exclusively to Republic, stating that the BJP has never politicized the Pulwama attack, or neither will they do so even in the future too. But all said and done now, the Congress not coming out with any statements, condemning the statement of their MLA in itself shows the party in a poor light as well. And despite all the political rumblings that is happening, to bring the soldier, to dishonor him, to disrespect him, this was totally uncalled for by the Congress party. But coming from H.C. Balakrishna on the same lines as to how President Draupadi Murmu was insulted, this definitely does not come as a surprise too. But will the AICC at least wake up, whip him, bring some sort of sense into him? Will the KPCC take action against this Congress MLA is something that needs to be seen at this point of time, Shivangi.
Well, Prajwal, if you could just go through all the other controversies which have come out in the fore. Remember, shot by Karnataka Minister Zamir Ahmed Khan stirred controversy after he claimed that all the BJP leaders are now compelled to respectfully greet the Muslim speaker of the State Assembly. So that was a big controversial comment, and we see back-to-back controversial comments coming in. At this point of time, has there been any kind of even an apology in the past? And why are these comments being made again and again? That's also a big question being raised.
Shivangi, absolutely not. There has been no sort of apology which has come in from the concerned minister while you are speaking about Zamir Ahmed Khan. But what was very interesting to notice, and something that had to be brought to the notice of the viewers, is the fact that UT Khader, who's the speaker, himself stated that the people, the MLAs, are not respecting me because of my religion or because that I have a certain name or I hail from a particular community, but they are going ahead and honoring and respecting the chair of the speaker, and therefore they are doing this. And the speaker openly condemned the sort of statement that came in from Zamir Ahmed Khan. But secondly, now speaking about H.C. Balakrishna and the entire context of where the statement came from. Initially, he started comparing the Bharatiya Janata Party to the Britishers. Secondly, he stated that the BJP has an ideology of aligning with the political party, breaking that particular political party and poaching its own leaders. And thirdly, he states that Prime Minister Narendra Modi can never be a Vishwamanava only by waving his hands at the people, because he has sacrificed the lives of innocent soldiers to come back to power once again. And if not for the Pulwama attack in 2019, the BJP would not have come to power. The NDA would not have come to power at the center, is what he was pointing out to. And he also stated that the people should not be brainwashed or be misled by the BJP party, but rather they should go ahead and vote for the Congress and its guarantees too. So he's selling the Congress party and he's selling the guarantees in the name of going ahead and insulting our soldiers, politicizing the Pulwama attack, and at the same point of time hinting at a larger conspiracy, pointing the BJP's role in the Pulwama attack, which is absolutely unacceptable, is what the BJP party is stating now.
All right, thank you so much, Prajwal, for getting us all the details coming in. Congress MLA Balakrishnan has stoked a big controversy and insulted the martyrs, and also saying that the Pulwama attack is the reason. In fact, Congress MLA says that the soldiers who died in Pulwama and Modi came to power because of this. A very controversial statement being made that why did Pulwama attack happen, and no apology, no clarification coming in yet from that Congress MLA. Viewers, let's move ahead to the other story we are tracking. And what we see is a new development. Khalistanis interrupted the Indian ambassador's visit in the US Gurudwara. Now, Indian ambassador Taranjeet Singh Sandhu visited the Gurudwara in New York yesterday, and a handful of Khalistan supporters interrupted his visit and raised the Khalistani slogans. Khalistanis also blamed him for plotting the killing of Niger and Pannu viewers. Let's go ahead and really play out the reactions coming in, because this is a very big story where we see that the Khalistanis had interrupted the Indian ambassador's visit in a US Gurudwara.
तरनजीत सिंह संधू जो एम्बेसडर हैं, जब गुरुद्वारे में गए तो उनसे कन्फ्रंट किया गया, सवाल किए गए। ये एक गुरपतवंत सिंह पन्नू की फ्रस्ट्रेशन है। मैं बड़े यकीन से बताना चाहता हूं दुनिया भर में बसते सिखों को, ना ही कभी भारत ने ऐसी किसी के लिए असैसिनेशन की कोशिश किया और ना ही करेगा। हम बिल्कुल देश के कानून में यकीन रखते हैं और कोई गलत करता तो कानूनी कार्रवाई करते हैं, लेकिन गुरपतवंत सिंह पन्नू द्वारा इस तरह का दुष्ट प्रचार किया जाना, कभी कनाडा के नाम पर कभी अमेरिका के नाम पर, कोई नई बात नहीं है। ये वो आदमी है जो हिंदू और सिखों के अंदर बहुत बड़ी जहर का काम कर रहा है, उगलने का काम कर रहा है और पाट डाल रहा है, उनमें खाई बढ़ा रहा है, नफरत फैला रहा है, कभी उनको मारने की बात करता है, कभी मंदिरों के बाहर प्रदर्शन करते हैं। कोई भी सिख इस तरह का काम कभी नहीं करता। और जहां तक तरनजीत सिंह संधू जी की बात है, उनकी बहुत बड़ी लेगेसी है, मैं सबको बताना चाहता हूं। वो तेजा सिंह समुद्री के ग्रैंडसन हैं, जिनकी जान भी पुलिस स्टेशन के कस्टडी में चलेगी, क्योंकि वो सिख धर्म की लड़ाई लड़ रहे थे, गुरुद्वारों की आजादी की लड़ाई लड़ रहे थे, श्रोमणी गुरुद्वारा प्रबंधक कमेटी के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट रहे, और उनके नाम के ऊपर श्री दरबार साहब में एक बहुत बड़ा लंगर हॉल है जिसका नाम है तेजा सिंह समुद्री हॉल। उनकी ये लेगेसी है। तो ऐसे सिख से इस तरह की कोई हरकत करना, मैं इसकी कड़े शब्दों में निंदा करता हूं, अच्छी बात नहीं है। विदेशों में बसते सिख ये बात समझते हैं, लेकिन चंद लोग हैं जो ऐसी शरारतें करते हैं।
All right, let's go straight to Amandeep, who's joining us live right now. Amandeep, Indian ambassador targeted in New York, and what we see is a big controversy which is erupted, and this is not the first time. Multiple provocations have come in. Especially in US, in Canada, in multiple countries where we see heckling by Khalistani elements. Take us through what has happened and what really took place, and what has the ambassador really said about this entire incident.
Well, Shivangi, the point is that Indian ambassador Taranjeet Singh Sandhu was invited in Longland Gurudwara in New York. And in fact, just a day before, on the eve of Gurudwara, he was giving the speech related to the Sikh religion. He was addressing the gathering, taking up the issues. He was discussing with the Gurudwara Management Committee. And in fact, he has also given the quote of thanks to the Gurudwara Management Committee for inviting him for the first time in Long Island Gurudwara. So, in the middle of that, when he was returning after meeting and after paying obeisance, and in fact after meeting the entire Gurudwara committee, after so many discussions, all of a sudden some handful people just strike there and started raising the issue of Khalistan, started raising the issue of killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar and killing plot of Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, and blaming Indian government and blaming Taranjeet Singh Sandhu. They have also tried to manhandle inside the Gurudwara as well when he tried to avoid. There was a proper security and the Gurudwara Management Committee who actually guarded and protected Taranjeet Singh Sandhu, and even see off him to the car, and later one person with the Khalistani flag walking along with the car of Taranjeet Singh Sandhu raising the Khalistani slogans. This all happened. And in fact, this is the major concern when any person, any of the Indian envoy or any of the Indian diplomat visit in the Gurudwara, these Khalistani elements all of a sudden strike inside the Gurudwara and started raising their own issues, and in fact started confronting, started abusing them. This is what we have seen almost 2 months back in Glasgow Gurudwara. This was what had happened, and even the New Delhi has also taken up the issue with that governments also that kindly take care of this issue, thus because this issue of Khalistan is escalating in several countries. They are basically trying to create the problem for the Indian diplomats, for the Indian ambassadors, and in fact the consulates also, who are in the different countries including US, Canada, Australia, England, and even the European countries. They are very handful people, but they are still trying to create the trouble. And Taranjeet Singh Sandhu's incident is the latest one. So New Delhi has to take up the issue with US government about the security of their own ambassadors, just because the way he was trying to just breach the security layer of Taranjeet Singh Sandhu, try to touch him, try to point him finger that regarding the killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar as well as Gurpatwant Singh Pannu. They are openly blaming the Indian government, protesting outside the Gurdwara, creating trouble outside the temples. So this all had happened and still happening in these countries just because Indian government not allowed these Khalistani elements to execute their agendas in Indian soil. And in fact, so the reason is they are getting a free, they are having a free space in Canada like countries, and that is the reason they are taking up their issues there only, and they are trying to create the trouble from those lands. Yes.
Amandeep, thank you for getting us all the details coming in. And in fact, earlier this year in September, a similar incident was seen where Khalistani elements prevented the Indian High Ambassador to the UK from entering a Gurudwara in Scotland. So these incidents keep repeating themselves. Thank you, Amandeep. Let's move ahead, viewers, to the other stories we're tracking on Republic TV. PM Modi offered prayers at the Sri Venkateshwara Swami Temple in Tirumala ahead of this packed campaigning trail in Telangana. The Prime Minister said in a social media post that he prayed for the good health and the well-being and prosperity of 140 crore Indians at the temple. An all-party meeting has been called on December 2nd ahead of the winter session. The winter session of Parliament 2023 will begin from December 4th and continue till December 22nd. A security breach is being reported in Pune, where a pro-Maratha Koda activist reached Maharashtra Minister Chhagan Bhujbal's car and threatened to vandalize the vehicle and hurled abuses. After a brief encounter last night, the Delhi Police Special Cell arrested two shooters of Khalistani terrorist Arsh Dalla gang from the Mayur Vihar area. The action by Delhi Police Special Cell can be seen as part of its continuing and sustained crackdown on Khalistani elements and their supporters. In yet another incident of stone pelting on Vande Bharat Express, the Rourkela-Bhubaneswar train was targeted by unidentified miscreants in Odisha. We also see that they further said that the window pane of an executive class coach was damaged in the incident, officials said. A thick layer of smog veiled the national capital on Monday morning, and the air quality was recorded in the severe category in several parts of Delhi, according to the Central Pollution Control Board. RK Puram recorded severe air quality with an AQI of 419 at 7 a.m. A car and a bike were completely gutted after a fire broke out at a house in Tamil Nadu's areas late on Sunday night. According to officials, the fire spread through the lamp-lit entrance of the house in Kovalpatti area. A gas tanker carrying ethynyl oxide overturned on Pune-Ahmednagar road this morning, affecting the traffic on the route. The Pune Fire Department team was rushed to the spot. Efforts underway to empty the tank. Viewers, much more coming up on India's #1 news channel. Power pack campaigning in final leg. PM to hold 2 rallies and a mega roadshow in Telangana. Day 16 of Uttarkashi rescue operations. Vertical drilling underway to pull out the 41 trapped workers. Stay tuned.
With over 100 unicorns and more waiting to come up, it's time to celebrate India's entrepreneurial spirit. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi to celebrate this and more. From satellites to semiconductors, India is on an economic growth highway. Join us at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run on 5th December in New Delhi. All set to become a developed nation by 2047. The Indian growth story is an unparalleled success. Be there at the India Economic Summit Sustaining the Dream Run, coming up on 5th December in New Delhi.
कांग्रेस ने राजस्थान को महिलाओं के खिलाफ अपराध में नंबर 1 बना दिया है।
आज हमारी पार्टी, हमारी सरकार आपके सामने जो काम किया उसके दम पर वोट मांग